there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making project number 2 in my Tea Together Club Kit. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current club kits I'm offering. Now if you don't have the club kit, don't worry, I'll give the supplies and dimensions as we go along so that you can make this adorable Mother's Day card along with us. The first thing you'll need is the Tea Together cling stamp set, and it is we'll be using the teacup, the little rosebuds, the larger rose, the Happy Mother's Day, and then we'll do the rose inside as well. Okay, for your inks and markers, you'll need your Memento Tuxedo black ink, your Blackberry Bliss ink for the Happy Mother's Day right here, and then you'll need your light and dark Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Blends and your light Mossy Meadow. You'll need a thick Whisper White card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You'll need a piece of regular Whisper White, 5 by 3 3/4 for the inside sentiment. Of the Blackberry Bliss cardstock, you'll need 5, let's do this one, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then 5 1/4 by 4, that's for the inside, and then 5 1/4 by 1 3/4, and that's for this strip here behind the DSP. For the DSP, you're going to need a piece of the one that has the darker roses, like the Rich Razzleberry Blackberry Bliss roses. It will be 5 1/4 by 4, and then you'll need a piece, we'll be using the back side of the one that has the vines, 5 1/4 by 1 1/2, the gray like marble looking 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. That's going to go across the center here. From your embellishments package, you're going to need 7 inches of the Fresh Fig ruffled ribbon, and you're going to need your die cut frame here with the little teacup, the little rosebuds, and the larger rose. You'll need 3 of the Berry Burst Share What You Love Artisan Pearls. That's these in the center here. For your adhesives, you'll need your snail, mini dimensionals, and regular mono glue, all-purpose glue if you have it. For your tools, you will probably want your piercing tool, and you'll need a stamp positioner like your Stamparatus, and you'll need a die cutting machine like the Big Shot. So now that we know everything that we need, let's get started making our card. We'll start with our stamping on our images here. So we'll need all of our little die cuts, and we'll also need our frame, and we'll need the inside sentiment panel, which will be this piece of Whisper White 5 by 3 3/4. So let's get our Stamparatus out. Okay, so this is going to be very similar to what we did in project 1. We're going to start by stamping our cup image. We'll place it on a piece of scratch paper. I'm using the mini grid paper, and I'm going to stamp that in Memento Tuxedo Black, because that's what I'll be stamping my image in on my card front. So I have my image, and I'm going to bring in the frame and line that up where it will stamp on my image. Put that in place. Now I'll bring in the little die cut, but first I'll put just a tad of snail there. Place this in place. Now when I ink up my stamp and stamp on my image, it will stamp exactly where I want it. And you can use this same technique to do multiples of one particular stamp that you might be wanting to use. If you're doing like swap cards or several of one card. I'm just going to gently pry that up. So I'm going to clean off my stamp. So this time I'm going to stamp my rose, and I'm just going to kind of put my stamp there, just for easier placement. Remove this. With Memento Tuxedo Black ink, I'm going to stamp my rose. Now I'll put this back in place, and I'll line it up so that the rose is going to be in the center. Now I'll put a little bit of snail in the center of that rose and place my die cut in there. Ink up my rose again. And now I have my rose. Clean off this stamp. Now I have my little rose here, and I'm just going to pick one of these and kind of figure out that's about where it's going to be. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to move my paper down there anyway, my cardstock. I'm going to stamp an image here. Then I'm going to use my frame to line that up again perfectly. Now I can put just a tad, if I can get it in there, just a tad. Place my rose bud in here. Ink up my stamp. Okay, I have one. And I can just leave that in place and put the other one in there because they're both the same. Ink up my stamp and press. Clean off my stamp. So now we're ready to do the Happy Mother's Day and the inside rose. So we'll go ahead and do the Happy Mother's Day, and you'll need your a piece of plastic. I may have forgot to tell you that, but you'll need a 4x6 piece of plastic. I put it in the corner here, and I'll get my Happy Mother's Day stamp. I'm going to stamp it down here right on the edge and ink that up. So I know now where that's going to stamp. I can slide my teacup underneath there and have it placed where it says perfectly Happy Mother's Day. You can move it around a little bit if I need to. I think that's going to be good. So I'm happy with that, so I'll hold that in place with my finger and remove the plastic, put my magnet in place, re-ink my stamp. Now this I want this in Blackberry Bliss, and I should have stamped it in Blackberry Bliss. So we're going to ink it up with Blackberry Bliss. Okay, we have our Happy Mother's Day. Clean off my plastic. So this is our Whisper White 5 by 3 3/4. I purposely left it kind of blank in the center so that you could stamp something else that you liked, another sentiment, or just leave a room to write something. We're going to put our rose in the corner with the flowers, kind of petals, the leaves going kind of down like this, and pick that up. We're going to stamp that with Memento Tuxedo Black. Okay, we're done with our stamping. Okay, so we're ready to do our coloring. We have our light and dark Blackberry Bliss and our light Mossy Meadow. We're going to color our little teacup first. There's a little like place here at the bottom, kind of like a little line. That's going to be dark Blackberry Bliss. And then the light Blackberry Bliss, we're going to do the part below that of the cup, the base of the cup, the scalloped edge of the saucer, and the handle of the cup. So now we're going to do the roses, and we'll do the roses the same way. We're going to first outline the rose with the dark rich raspberry. Once we have that outline, we're going to come in with our light Blackberry Bliss. I'm sorry, did I say rich raspberry? Light Blackberry Bliss, and we're going to just kind of fill in that missing spot there with our light Blackberry Bliss. And once we get all of that, we're going to do what's called blending. That's why these are called Stampin' Blends. The ink, well, when it's made wet, will actually blend with each other. So we're going to go along the edges of our darker, and we're just going to go up and down, up and down, and up and down across that edge and blend that in. And then you can just leave it like that, or you can blend it a little bit more if you'd like. And there we have our rose. Now we'll do the leaves. The leaves, we're not going to do much shading with that. We're just going to color those. Okay, so then we're going to do this rose the very same way with the shading. But you don't have to do the shading. If you want to just do regular coloring, you can do that. Now we're going to do the little rosebuds the same way. Just a little bit of the dark Blackberry Bliss along the tops and edge. And then we're going to come in and blend that in with our light Blackberry Bliss. Okay, then we're going to do our Mossy Meadow leaves. Now I'm going to finish this rose and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I got the other rose done. So now we are ready to start putting together our card. And we'll go ahead and bring in our card base. And that is our 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 Blackberry Bliss. And our DSP is going to go on front of that. So we'll go ahead and put that on. I'm going to use some blue. That is such beautiful paper. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get our strip of Blackberry Bliss that is 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And let me see, it is going to be 1 1/4 of an inch from the top of this, and it doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to use my grids here to kind of know where to put it. I'll put some glue on this. And again, about 1 1/4 of an inch from the tops, the card here over the DSP. And next we're going to get our piece of the gray DSP and we're going to put that over our Blackberry Bliss strip. And it is 1/4 of an inch from the top of the Blackberry Bliss. Kind of even with the bottom. There's just a tiny bit showing at the bottom. But it's going to be covered up by the ribbon, so really doesn't matter. So now we are ready to put our ribbon on, and it looks like the ribbon is 1 inch from the bottom or just right across this piece here. So we'll go ahead and put some snail on the back where we think that's going to need to have the snail for that to push in. So just right across this edge here, even on the sides, push it down and then bring it around, push it in, and make sure it's level. You might need to adjust it a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Now that's ready to go on our Whisper White card front. So we'll get our Whisper White card base and fold it in half and crease the fold. I want to put some snail on the back and on the ribbon. It's going to go on the front. I'll flip it over. Okay, now we're going to put our little teacup here, our flowers. If I can pick them up, I'm going to put them here, kind of like that. Then our large rose is going to be here. Now we're going to put our large rose on with mini dimensionals. So I have my mini dimensionals on, and I actually cut one in half to go on this small leaf here. This is just going to go up here in the corner, not too close to the edge, just like that. Now for our cup, we want to put it so that it's up a little bit. You can see it's not on the ribbon. And we want to put some mini dimensionals behind the cup where it's not over the Blackberry Bliss cardstock. So we're just going to put some mini dimensionals along the top just to support it so it doesn't like sink down. Just 3 would be fine. So that's going to kind of give it some support. And then we're going to put it on with the rest of it. We're just going to put it on with some glue. I'll go ahead and take the backing off. Okay, I want to make sure I leave a space here and a space on the side and that it's level. So that looks good. Happy Mother's Day. Now this rose is going to slide underneath there, so I may have to lift that up a little bit. It's going to slide underneath like that, and then this one is going to slide underneath that one, and it's going to kind of go in this type of kind of one going up and one going down, so it looks kind of like they're just laying there. So you decide how you want it. So I think I like that. So I'm going to put these on with some mini glue dots. I have a few left here. I'll go ahead and put, I'm not going to put a glue dot behind the top bud. I'm just going to put it behind the bottom bud, and I'm going to start with this one here because it doesn't take much to hold these in place. So we have that one. And then I'll just slide this one. Okay, have that one. Now we'll go ahead and do the inside. Put this here on our piece of Blackberry Bliss for 5 1/4 by 4. And I think I'll use some glue for that. Then I'm going to put that on the inside with some snail. So now we're ready to do the little pearls. I'm going to put one pearl, whoops, I'm going to put one pearl here on the cup handle. and then 2 pearls together up here by these leaves, just like this. And we are done. So this was project number 2 in my Tea Together Club Kit. Check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current classes I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.